Thanks for coming. I'm so excited that you're here. We decided to go live in Super Hustle to share this information with anybody who was not able to drive to Delaware. I know that Steve Lane put a little picture of an airplane with him riding on the top of it that he was going to try to fly here. They live in, I don't even remember where, somewhere out in the not Delaware. Let's just say that. They do not live in Delaware. So we thought maybe we would go live in Super Hustle so that, hey Sandy, so that people who couldn't be here still got to get this little tiny piece of the training. But if you didn't get to be here in person, you don't get to get the fantastic barbecue ribs and the hamburgers and hot dogs. And I'd like to just take a second too to say, Laura, thank you so much for having us today, because I know that having people over to your house is a huge deal. And I so appreciate it.
And you don't get to meet Cooper.
You don't get to meet Cooper.
Cooper's on CBD.
Cooper's so on CBD. Okay, so
Sit down.
So our training today is going to be broken down into 3 different parts. The first part of our training today is mastering your message, figuring out what to say in that first 30 seconds when somebody asks you, what do you do? People ask you that question all the time, and you have to be prepared so that you don't word vomit. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to do dream boards. So we have some crafting supplies and some magazines. We're going to make beautiful dream boards, and then we're going to grub, because I know that Laura has prepared her famous barbecue ribs, and I'm so excited to try those. Yay! Okay, so mastering your message. You have to think about, who are you talking to? Who is your audience, and why are they asking you this question? Because there's going to be a variety of times when someone says, what do you do? So is it your grandmother or your sister or your cousin or a family member that says, what is it that you do again? Or is it a cocktail party with your spouse's coworkers that may not know you and want to know what you do, and that may be a better opportunity? So your grandmother, family member, aunt, uncle, they may be a potential, but on the other hand, they may just want to know, how are you doing with your life? And are you buying groceries for your children? Are you really making any money at this business? And somebody else you might have the opportunity to offer them your services in the way of your product or in the way of your opportunity. So the things that you're going to want to think about before you master that message is, who are you and what do you do? Because if you can't say who you are and what you do and share it clearly and concisely, how is anybody else going to get that message? So one of the things about mastering your 30-second commercial is practicing that and sharing it with people that you know close to you first, so that you begin to get more comfortable delivering it smoothly, because you also don't want to sound robotic and you don't want it to sound like a sales pitch. People can sniff out a sales pitch a mile away. You want to be able to share what you do authentically. So you all know your own name. That's a pretty easy one. But then the next step would be, what do you call the job that you do? Because we can call it a lot of different things. You could say that you're in direct sales. You could say that you're in network marketing. You could say that you're a professional network marketer. You could say that you're a CBD advocate. You could say that you're a wellness advocate. You could say that you're a CBD connoisseur. There's lots of different titles that you can give yourself. I don't like to use HempWorks affiliate when I share with people, because if I tell them all the benefits of HempWorks, they may just go online and Google HempWorks and order from corporate. So I don't like to use the company name specifically when I talk about what I do. Then you want to talk about, who can you help? What type of person are you trying to help? What type of person are you able to serve? How are you going to be able to solve their problems? Because that's what people want. People don't want to hear about your sales. They want to be helped by whatever product you have to offer, whatever opportunity you have to offer to help ease their pain. Who can you help? How can you help them? Who are you? What do you call yourself? Who can you help, and how can you help them? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I did this exercise as a part of a network marketing group. I had visited a couple of times. I didn't end up joining them because they wanted a lot of money and it was the same people over and over. But as a part of that networking luncheon, you always went in and everyone went around the table and introduced yourself. And you had 30 seconds and they timed you. 30 seconds. You don't get to any more than that. So it wasn't like cocktail party chit chat. You had 30 seconds and you had to get your message across. I learned through that exercise, that was one of the things that we did in the couple of weeks that I visited with them, was mastering this message. And I found that since I did that, I use it. I use it all the time. And I had no idea how much I was going to use it until I mastered it, and then I started using it more and more. So when I think about who I am and what I do, my niche market is autism moms, because I'm an autism mom, and that's typically a lot of the time the people that I reach out to and connect with, because they have commonality with me. They have something in common with me, and I'm able to share my story with them. People love a story. People want to connect with you and know, how did you get to where you are? You're probably going to end up having several versions of this message. The short version, the somewhat longer version, and the whole enchilada version. The short version is probably pretty much going to be your name, your title, and briefly what you do. The longer version is going to weave a little bit of your story into it. The whole enchilada might be more like a 3-minute version of what you do. So when I think about my message and my 30-second commercial, mine usually sounds something like, my name is Melissa Stansel. I'm a professional network marketer currently promoting in the cannabis industry. I am a special needs mom, and I help other special needs moms find all natural remedies to help their children. And in addition, I'm able to coach those moms on how to work from home to have more freedom to have time and money with their families. So that's my 30-second commercial. If I wanted to add to that and take that to the next level, I might say something like, after trying to hold down a traditional job for years and years, I found that the challenges of my son's autism prevented me from holding down a traditional 9-to-5 job. So I started working from home as a professional network marketer in the cannabis industry, blah, 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 blah. So you see how I just kind of added on a little bit? So it was the same core message, but then I kind of expanded a little bit to include my story. This is how I got to where I am, and I was doing it so that I was able to spend more time with my kids, so that I had that same freedom that I'm offering to them on the end. So tying that message together. And then if I had wanted to give them the whole enchilada, as I get to the end, then I might add on saying something like, I joined an amazing team that has a lot of support with a 30-day training program and a lot of hands-on, one-on-one support, so that we're able to teach people how to be successful in the network marketing space. So giving them a little bit more information about, this is why I can help you. Because I'm not just going to take your $20 affiliate fee and go, bye, good luck. I'm going to take your $20 affiliate fee and I'm going to teach you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to give you a 30-day training program. I'm going to give you everything that corporate offers and then some. So being able to take that and kind of break it down into those little nuggets, you know what I mean? Like the short version, the little bit longer version, the big version. And then, there's even the social media version. I mean, how many of us are making new friends on social media every single day? And if you're following Fraser and Fraser's trainings, one of the things that he does when you meet new friends on social media is you ask them, where do they live? What do they do? Tell me about your family, and what do you do for fun? Like you're trying to get to know these people in the social media space. This is the same thing. You're sharing that what do you do piece. So there's going to be a social media version that's probably even shorter. Because if you said, I'm a professional network marketer working in the cannabis industry, blah, 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 you're word vomiting, and your little bubble is going to get this long on social media. You have to be brief. And then maybe you say something like, I'm a professional network marketer working in the cannabis industry. Have you used CBD, or are you familiar with it? And always ask that question. When you provide that message to somebody, you want to reciprocate and ask the same question of them, because that fosters that two-way communication so that you're able to find out more about their problems, because you want to be a problem solver. So maybe you mention the fact that you're in the CBD industry and they say, oh, I know somebody who has autism. I know somebody who has a kid who has autism. I know somebody who has the same problems that you do. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's just somebody that they know. But then they have the opportunity to say, well, maybe I could connect you with that person. That happens to me a lot now because I've been in the autism community for so long. A lot of times people just reach out to me and say, so-and-so that lives down the street from me, their daughter-in-law, their child just got a diagnosis of autism. Could I connect them with you? And I'm like, Lord have mercy. Like, I can't teach the whole world how to deal with a new autism diagnosis, because that's something really big to deal with. But you know what I do? I say, absolutely connect them with me. Put us in a group chat, give them my text message. And then what I do is I refer them out to a family navigator at Autism Delaware. That's their job. They're paid to do that. That's what they do for a living.
Right.
So I'd like to take a couple of minutes now and kind of like, let's flesh this out. Let's think about what those 4 things are. You know, who you are, what you do, what do you call yourself, how do you help, what kind of people do you help, and how do you help them? And let's write it down, and then I'd like to kind of practice it with each other so that we can provide each other constructive feedback on whether we got the message and how we liked it. Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. And if you're watching at home, I'd like you to do the same thing. Practice your writing down those 4 things. Who you are, what you do or what you call yourself, who you can help and how you can help them. Write it down. You may not want to put it all in the comments because, again, that might look a little bit like word vomit. But if you'd like to share with us just one little tidbit of your 30-second commercial, whether it be what you have titled yourself or what you're calling yourself, or whether you want to share maybe the part who you could help, or maybe you want to share the part of how you can help them. So just pick a little piece of your story and then share it in the comments below. And then later on, we will be able to come into the chat and look at those comments and give you our feedback. So I hope that you were able to tune in for a couple of minutes. Mwah! Bye, friends.